Hello and welcome to the Bundesliga show by Over the Bar. Here we are for the Bayer Leverkusen against Borussia Dortmund Watchalong. We're going to be taking you through the action over in the Bayer Arena in Germany to see what happens in this massive, top four game between Bayer Leverkusen and Edin Terzic's Borussia Dortmund. And I'm obviously joined with Peter over in America. How are you, Peter?
Doing well, my good man. A pleasure to be joining you as always.
Yeah, fantastic. So it is only about 5 minutes before kickoff as we speak, and you can see the lineups on the screen. So I'll pass it over to you first, Peter. I mean, are there any big kind of nuances in that lineup, or is it as expected, really?
No, one of the reasons that Xabi Alonso is lauded as such a brilliant trainer in the Bundesrepublik and enjoys so much respect is that he has a set, well-rehearsed Bundesliga 11, this 3-4-3 that you see here. Now, he tinkers with his tactics in the Europa League. He also does so in the Pokal and things like that. But when it comes to the league, he's very much focused on winning the league with this well-rehearsed 3-4-3-11 that we have with Grimaldo and Frimpong functioning as the wingbacks, Florian, Wirtz, Jonas, Hoffmann, and Victor Boniface doing their thing up front, and, of course, the back three. In terms of Edin Terzic's Dortmund, we have a couple of changes from what was a fairly convincing Europa League Champions League victory on Wednesday. Dortmund have managed to convince in the Champions League as of late, 3 straight very convincing and dominant wins, 2 of them over Newcastle, no less. The 2 changes, we've got Brandt replacing Daniel Malen in attack. There are 3 players who are ill, Rami Bensebaini, Niklas Süle, and also Saleh Özcan. So what we've got now is Marius Wolf and Julian Riasen, who can play on both the right or the left. I would imagine that Riasen's going to play on the left. Now, herein lies the problem. Hopefully we don't get a blowout today, because if you're thinking about Dortmund last year, Marius Wolf and Julian Riasen, who joined in the January transfer window from Union, they enjoyed a very different status back then. Marius Wolf, as a matter of fact, got called up to the German national team. But these days, this season, it doesn't look like either Wolf or Ryerson are really in good form. And when Bayern blew out Dortmund 4-0 a few weeks back, a lot of this had to do with the fact that Dortmund don't really have quality fullbacks in the lineup at the moment. Leverkusen, with Grimaldo and Frimpong, have the best wingbacks in all of German football, not to mention the best midfield general in Granit Xhaka. So hopefully we don't get a blowout here, because on paper, Leverkusen are the far superior side. We'll need to see something from Dortmund here if they want to keep themselves in the conversation.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a huge game, obviously, for Leverkusen as well. I think Leverkusen were helped a little bit, in my opinion, by the Bayern Munich postponement yesterday, because I think we can safely say that would probably have been 3 points for the Bavarians, and they'd be coming into this game in second place, most likely. Whereas, as it happens, it almost looks like a free hit for them in a way now, because they'll still be top regardless at the end of the day. The momentum continues, but obviously if they win the game, they'll go 5 points clear of Bayern Munich at the top, although Bayern will obviously have a game in hand as well. So, I mean, what a game this is, Peter. I mean, I think you tipped 3-2 to Leverkusen. I actually tipped 3-2 to Dortmund. I think, obviously, the fact that Dortmund are missing a few key personnel definitely affects that. But I don't know, there's just something telling me that the Borussia Dortmund are going to be able to pull something off today. I just think, obviously, as you mentioned, I mean, the Champions League form has been superb, nothing short of that. They were drawn in the group of death alongside Milan, PSG, and Newcastle, and they've qualified with a game to spare as well. So big respect for that. Obviously, great for the Bundesliga as well. But the form we've seen in the Bundesliga hasn't been as good, in truth. The form has been a little bit patchy. Obviously, myself and Peter actually saw them live as well in Hoffenheim, and that kind of summed up the season in a way, that game. I didn't think they played amazingly well, but they managed to find a win that day. And I think that's largely been how the season's gone in the league this season. But, obviously the last 4 or 5 games haven't gone as planned. They've lost 2 or 3 games recently. And, they had to come back from 2-0 behind last week against Gladbach as well. So, yeah, Peter, I mean, are you sticking with your 3-2 prediction, or are you going to change that a little bit based on what you've seen today?
Yeah, I hope that's what we get. I see Rory's tipping 3-1 for Leverkusen there in the comment box. That's actually also a very good tip. When we talk about the mismatch between the wing backs and the Dortmund fullbacks, we could very well see a blowout here. Here's hoping that that's not the case. We definitely want a competitive match here so that you and I aren't trading recipes after Leverkusen go up 4-0 20 minutes in.
Yeah, that's true. That's very, very true. Actually, in recent times when we've done the watch-alongs, we've not had much luck, myself and Rory. Like, we've done a 1-0 the other week. The one before that was a 0-0, I think. So hopefully this game's got to have goals in it, hasn't it? I think for me, it's got to be a both teams to score. There's got to be more than 3.5 goals in this one. I'd be disappointed if there's not, to be honest. But just as we say that the players are out on the pitch, Dortmund are going to kick off. I don't know where you're up to, Peter. Have they kicked off on your screen yet?
We should establish, as is often the case when we do these watch-alongs together, who is where. So I'm at kickoff right about. Seems like we have a little bit of a delay here. Okay, I'm kicked off. Are you?
Yeah, we're almost exactly on time by the look of it this time. It's just 3, 4, 5 seconds on mine now. So yeah, it seems as though this is the closest we've ever been, incredibly. So that's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, that's good. Yeah, just as Dortmund start with possession, but Leverkusen already won it back there. They just run a throw in deep into the Dortmund half. How important are the fullbacks? I mean, you've already mentioned the weak Dortmund fullbacks at times this season. Do you think this is where, the weak point of this Dortmund team, Peter?
Well, it was very, very different last spring. It really was. I think that Marius Wolf, as I mentioned, he got some German national team call-ups. He was in good form. It seemed like he was really a late bloomer and was really rounding into form. The latest news is that Dortmund aren't even interested in extending his contract. They're going to let both him and Thomas Meunier depart on freeze after the season. Ryerson, he probably he was a surprise when he came from Union Berlin. As we see, Frimpong is already active on the right flank here. And it looks like Ryerson is defending him. So yeah, Ryerson is settling in on the right with Wolf on the left. Not quite sure if that's necessarily the right call, because we already have Frimpong getting a cross in there. It's too close to Kobel. But yeah, that's an interesting call. I mean, Wolf and Ryerson can play on either side, and Wolf can also play on either side and can play up on the wings. So you can't beat their versatility. But in terms of the form that they're in, that's probably the biggest weakness for Dortmund this season. Well, along with a slow start from Ben Sebaini and some problems from the newly anointed skipper Emre Can running the midfield. Can has a huge challenge today, obviously up against Granit Xhaka, who has proved time and again that he's probably too good for this league, if I may say so. We already have Schlotterbeck down. Let's see here. No fault there from Xhaka. It was Schlotterbeck who followed through on his own tackle. But yeah, that is what we're seeing. Again, this could potentially be a mismatch, and I'm going to be interested to see if Ryerson stays on that right hand side, because I mean he can play there obviously, but Wolf is better on the right.
Yeah, just a few predictions coming in as well. Our very own Rory says 3-1 Leverkusen. Also, Ballum as well, checking in with a 4-1 Bayer. Wow, that's a big prediction. Yeah, I think Xabi Alonso will definitely be cooking if that result comes in. And yeah, Moritz as well, saying that he's going to watch the game alongside the Spurs Man City as well. Yeah, I mean, it's a great kind of double billing, great fixtures at this time as well, isn't it? By the way, the Premier League had an amazing afternoon as well today. A lot of crazy games over there. Just as I say that, actually, Freiburg got a 1-0 win as well in Mainz for any of you Bundesliga supporters out there. So yeah, Freiburg, big win there for them. Mainz, probably, I watched the game, they should have had something out of it, but they just don't score goals anymore, do they? That's the problem with them. Jork missed a few chances again, and it's just not working out for him this season, is it, at all? But yeah, it was a pretty entertaining game, and just as an offside there given against Bayer Leverkusen, and yeah, not very much happened so far, Peter.
Not yet. We do have Wolf on the right, so that makes sense. And we have Brandt, I believe, operating central with Royce out on the right wing, but it's difficult to tell. They're quite fluid in those rotations. don't really have an opinion one way or the other whether Royce plays central or out wide. Same applies to Brandt. So long as they're facilitating some creative attacks, and we'll see how that comes up with. As we do have them in possession here, Jamie Bino Gittins has been in quite good form, the young Englishman. Perhaps we'll see something from him today. Oh, that's a nice
big chance. Oh, it's 1-0. Can you believe it? Yeah, can you believe it? Is it Ryerson who's got the goal? Incredibly.
It is
Ryerson who gets the goal. Yeah, and it was a really good goal as well. Peter, do you want to talk us through it? That was a great goal from the BVB there.
Well, we were talking about Brandt and his touches. I believe that it's Brandt who sets it up here. Do we have offside? It shouldn't. That might possibly come back for offside there, since it was the initial pass was perhaps offside. But there is Ryerson. He gives it over to Brandt. Brandt touches it back to. Excuse me, that was Füllkrug who touched it back to Brandt, who then touches it back to Ryerson. We have Bino Gittins who squares for Ryerson. Then a nice ball hold up from Füllkrug. He squares for Royce. Füllkrug holds the ball up very, very well with Tapsoba on his back and slips it through to the in-crushing Ryerson. May have an offside on that, we'll see. But otherwise, an excellent team goal. Quite the surprise. Looks like we may be in for a treat after all, because that's precisely...
Yeah, and the goal's given as well. The goal's given, no VAR check. Yeah, and it's the third season tour, as they say, for, obviously, Julian Ryerson. We actually saw his second one as well, I think, Peter, as we didn't we at Hoffenheim. We were actually standing right over that one.
Oh, that was, when he charged across the entire pitch. That was... one of the goals for the of the season, shorthanded no less.
Yeah, but it's a disastrous start for the home side. This is kind of what I feared for Xabi Alonso's side, because it's BVB do have a habit of turning up in these kind of games, and actually helping Bayern. I think I mentioned it on the predictions that quite often they actually help Bayern in these kind of games. They never take anything off Bayern, but they often beat the teams around Bayern. That's the thing. Actually, as Leverkusen come forward themselves, geez, they can't get out. It's going to be a free shot. But it's straight at Kobel in the end. It was Palacios who has a shot initially, but that was pretty weak defending there from Chan, I think, who couldn't get the ball out of his feet. And it was a half-decent chance, not a big chance, but that's the first shot in anger for the home side, Peter.
Absolutely. It was a lovely little triangulation between Frimpong, Xhaka, and Hoffmann to penetrate the area in the first place. And then Palacios went ahead and had a crack when they couldn't clear the ball. It was straight at Kobel, of course. But definitely a signal of intent, and it shows you what this Leverkusen team is capable of in that front three. That's simply amazing stuff. So, this is I think we have a good watch along doing right here, because the Leverkusen are very much active, looking for a response and doing their thing, trying to exploit what might be somewhat weaker Dortmund side there on the half right. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get an equalizer out here soon. Broken play there from Royce and Brandt on a deep attack build there. Xabi looking quite serious there on the sidelines. Something that the tactically inclined among us are going to be keeping an eye out for here is Xabi and his famous slip of paper. If broadcast cameras happen to catch him giving a slip of paper to Xhaka, watch out, because there's going to be an interesting tactical tweak taking place.
Yeah, it's looking like a really good game early on, though. That's for sure. It's I think there's already been more happening the first 7-8 minutes of this than happened in the whole of last week's watch-along against FC Cologne, to be honest with you. Yeah, so it's definitely not disappointing so far after the first 8-10 minutes or so. Yeah, I think Leverkusen, as you say, Palacios is looking key. He's getting on the ball a lot so far, and the Dortmund defense is struggling to get out at times. Just as Leverkusen win a free kick about halfway into the BVB half, which is going to provide, again, it's Palacios who wins that. He does go to ground quite easily at times, the Argentinian, doesn't he? But he is a very, very talented player. One that probably doesn't get talked about as much as he should do, really, because, Xhaka is so impressive. But, Palacios is also a vital kind of cog in this team as well. Just as a free kick, I think it's Xhaka standing over it, actually. No, it's who is it? Is it Or...
It should have been Grimaldo, but I guess it was too far from distance for Grimaldo to have a crack. He's been deadly. I think he's scored 3 goals off of free kicks this season. Xabi puts a lot of time with his fellow Spaniard in on the training pitch and drawing up these designs, and you can tell that. Back in open play now, Grimaldo trying to trip on ins, not going to work past Royce, and we have a bunch of head tennis before the ball goes out of bounds. But I think it was just ultimately too far for Grimaldo to have a crack there himself. So it was, they took it short with Wirtz, whom might just save German football. I think I see Ballin was asking in the chat what I thought of the German U17 World Cup victory. I mean, I covered it and I wrote an article about it, but it is U17 football. I mean, what do you want to say? It's not something I'm going to get terribly excited about.
Yeah, we will talk a little bit about the Euro draw as well, actually, at halftime. I wanted to go over some of that because obviously that is the big news came in, obviously, yesterday in the Elbphilharmonie in Hamburg that obviously the European Championship draw 2024 has been made. I will be going to a couple of games, hopefully, for that as well. I don't know if you got any tickets, Peter, over your end.
You have tickets yet already?
Yeah, I've managed to get some tickets. Yeah, but unfortunately, I have to give them to like family and things like that. But yeah, I'm also in the process of applying for others. So yeah, I will be going to or just as Leverkusen come and win a corner here as well. Peter, are you going to be heading over to any games for the championship? Or?
Of course, no. I'll be in the Bundesrepublik for this. Although I mean, most Germans were just. It seems like matters really can't get worse for us on a national basis. I mean, actually, the U21s had a very encouraging set of matches in the last international break. But the disaster that has been Julian Nagelsmann's nascent regime, and this is unfortunately something that a lot of us saw coming. We did not necessarily need this boy wonder and his needless experiments so close to the Euros. It would have been nice if Rudi Völler had just simply maintained the position, or we Louis van Gaal. But I mean, it's embarrassing. It's ridiculously embarrassing to watch him try to deploy Kai Havertz at left back, with only 4 friendly tune-up matches left to go before the Euros. If we get humiliated on our home soil, I mean, it's bad enough we lost to Austria during the international break. For Germans, that's like getting beat up by your kid sister. I mean, it's so embarrassing. So, I mean, yeah, the state of German football. I can't. I mean, with the U21 Euros, with the group stage exit for the women over the summer, with 2 group stage exits from the World Cup, the loss to England in 2021, we can't really summon up our enthusiasm anymore. I mean, and as hosts, we believe that we're honor bound and duty bound to go deep in the tournament and to give everyone a nice tournament. But Germans are. Yeah, we're nervy about hosting this tournament at the moment. I personally will be there, obviously, but there's a part of me that's going to want to run and hide if Germany get eliminated in the group stage again. I may drop off the face of the earth for a week.
Yeah. And obviously they do play Scotland as well, which we'll talk about a bit more. So yeah, I mean, the Scottish are going to be rubbing their hands together, to be honest, as Ballum said as well in the chat. But yeah, I think obviously, as things stand, Jeremy Frimpong has just ended up in the book as well after a foul. As obviously, I think it was Bittens as well, Bino Gittens, who's actually starting to look like quite a good player as well in the team. It's taken him a bit of time to become a regular in that Bayer Borussia Dortmund side, hasn't it? But the last month or so, he's been a key player, and he ended up drawing a foul out of Jeremy Frimpong, and that's an early booking for him. Although Fulkrug has just come right through. I think it was Kosanu, was it? He's lucky to escape a booking there as well, I feel, just as Leverkusen continue to dominate as things stand.
Oh,
once again through the fullback. Oh, geez, it's pulled back poorly though. I think you were right, Peter, that I think despite Rierson's goal, he's really struggling there a little bit of fullback, isn't he?
Well, he's up against Jeremy Frimpong, and here we see Kosanu actually coming up as well, just like he did last week in that murderous game. Oh, and there's a crack from, not too bad. That was Xhaka who decided to have a go from well outside the 18. Nicely curled shot. Kobel is thankfully tall enough and mobile enough to paw it down. The Dortmund are sitting rather deep here, defending their lead in the last few minutes, so that we've seen some sloppy and choppy stuff from Leverkusen in the build-up play. That was a good idea to pull back from Frimpong there. Actually, credit to Marius Wolf for an effective sweep away. That could have been a deadly pullback, although it was a little bit late. Let's see what we have here. Palacios, does he draw a foul from Royce? Pretty soft one, if you ask me. Palacios, as you were mentioning, goes to ground rather easily. Oh, for crying out loud, there was hardly any contact there. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Well, we get another set piece. This one's probably, again, too far away for Grimaldo to have a pop, but we'll see. As a matter of fact, is Grimaldo even there? Now it's going to be Hoffmann and Wirtz. So they're going to play this short again, I would imagine. Or will Hoffmann try to swing it in? Nah, nobody followed up on the run there. That was not the best design in the playbook. Can we do anything from outside the box? Grimaldo, cross in. Oh, he's got Boniface. Okay. Decent defending from Dortmund. Offside anyway. Yeah, he was offside. By miles.
Yeah, all a little bit frustrating at the moment for Bayer Leverkusen. Obviously, it's still early days, but I think obviously giving away the early goal doesn't usually work out well in these kind of games. Obviously it allows Dortmund to kind of sit back a bit. And let's be honest, Dortmund are used to this kind of performance now. They've had, obviously, the game against Newcastle a few weeks ago was very similar to this. They got the goal in the first half, and that day they defended absolutely superbly, and they'll be looking to kind of repeat that kind of performance in this game as well. I think it is Leverkusen with pretty much all the possession since the goal, but I mean, Dortmund will be quite happy with the way things are going. They're a great team on the break as well, Dortmund. So the longer the game goes on, they'll fancy getting another goal or two on that break. But for me, I feel as though Leverkusen, they have to get level sooner rather than later, because if you allow Dortmund to set up in this kind of shape, then they have proven in recent times that they can hold out a result and they can play really well in this shape as well. So, yeah, I mean, actually Dortmund seem to be becoming a team that are better away from home in some ways than at home, which is quite ironic, really. But they seem to defend a lot better on the road from what I've seen, at least this season. Just as once again, Leverkusen have possession deep into the Dortmund half, but that the Dortmund shape looks good, especially on their right side with Wolf. He's given offside again. That must be 4 offsides, I think, that Leverkusen have been caught since the 1-0. So you can see that the shape is working at the minute. They've clearly drilled this kind of defense. And yeah, Peter, I think Dortmund will be absolutely delighted after the first 16 minutes or so.
Yeah, a lot of football left to be played. You can see that Boniface, as you mentioned, has been offside, I think, now 3 times. And when you and I were doing the prediction show on Thursday, we were having a little bit of a laugh at the fact that Patrick Schick is once again available. But he did come off the bench to score in the Europa League. Probably should have scored twice. So we might see him come in, I wouldn't imagine, not at the restart, but maybe 50 minutes in if Boniface can't find his timing and his touch, because he has been having some problems, admittedly by his own high standards. Man has incredibly high standards, but he's had some finishing issues. He's had some timing issues as of late. And they want to get Schick minutes because Boniface will be at AFCON this coming January for Nigeria. So Schick will once again be Leverkusen's lead striker, hard as that is to believe. As we see, Grimaldo digs out a corner. Doesn't look like Xabi's really digging deep into the set piece playbook at this juncture, which is intelligent. I mean, you want to save your better designs for last. Let's see. We're gonna have both Wirtz and Hoffmann stand over this corner as well. Not quite sure what the idea is here. Okay, short to Wirtz, out to Hoffmann.
Oh dear, what was that? Hoffmann, that's a few passes that he's mislaid already so far today.
Well, I mean, Leverkusen are overdue for a stumble of some sort. I know that they seem invincible. They are actually undefeated through 19 fixtures across all competitions this season. The only the only draw even coming against Bayern on what was that first round back from international break. So here we see Frimpong cut back again. It's not. We can do that. Not a bad one there.
They're getting quite a lot of joy down that Dortmund left, though, aren't they? I think Ryerson, ironically, despite his goal, he is struggling a little bit there. I think obviously Frimpong is really getting a lot of success down there. But it's just been a bit frustrating, as you say. Boniface just isn't leading the line that well just at the moment. And yeah, maybe, as you say, we laughed about it on Thursday, but maybe Paddy Schick is the man at the moment. But, I mean, that is a concern, actually. The whole AFCON is a massive concern because as far as I know, it's going to be Tapsoba, Boniface, and I think Kosunu as well are all going to leave for that. So that's 3 out of the 11 starting lineup for the team, which is a massive concern to say the least. I think that's one of the reasons why they want to keep Stanisic as well. Obviously, I think Bayern have already said they want to take him back, but he's going to get a lot more game time in January or February.
He assisted on both goals in the Europa League, so he's been quite effective, I have to say. That was another one of those disastrous decisions by Bayern at the end of their transfer window. Here we have another. Okay. How many cutbacks? Oh!
Ooh, that was unlucky there. That was unlucky from Xhaka, yeah. But they are starting to get a lot of kind of again. But where's Boniface for these cutbacks? That's what you got to question a little bit because Frimpong, I think that's 4 times he's cut past Ryerson, and actually in this case it was clear to the edge of the box and Xhaka hits a really nice strike. It looked in, but it hits that stanchion at the back of the goal, which is always brutal for the fans on the other side because it looks like the goal's in, but it was actually just wide, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, Leverkusen, they've retaliated well in many ways. They've created chances, but it's just a bit frustrating and not being able to put one of them away because, as you say, Frimpong, I think he's got in, at least 3-4 times in the last 15 minutes. But like Boniface, he's just not been in the right positions, and neither has Hoffmann so far in the game. But I mean, to be honest, Dortmund are starting to give a few poor passes away in the midfield, especially through Royce. I think that's a few that he's done now in the midfield, giving away. And again, the ball comes in, but it's well defended by Hummels. And then, I think you are starting to think that maybe BVB, they don't want to be defending the whole 90 minutes. Surely they're not going to go that route. But it does seem the way that it's going at the minute, Peter. But still 1-0 at the minute.
Well, Wirtz has barely gotten any touches in. We see that Kosunu is really advanced, particularly on that right-hand side. And that was the case, as I mentioned before, that was the case last week as well. So Leverkusen are taking some risks. They're leaving themselves very, very vulnerable on the counter. If Dortmund can get any joy up on the left-hand side, which I don't think Bino Gittins has had many touches either. He's mostly been back helping out Ryerson with defensive work. So that kind of cancels out the Dortmund counter potential. And that's another reason why you see Kosunu in such an advanced position. Although Xhaka can always sort of fold back and serve as that third center back. He can do all manner of things. Really, I almost wonder, I hope he stays. I mean, I hope this isn't just another way station for him on his way back to the Premiership. Let's see here. Yeah, we're going again. Frimpong. Now it's okay. Wants to give and go from Hoffmann. That's not going to work. It's not going to work. Okay. All right. Dortmund are at least getting wised.
Yeah. Hoffmann's not had his best opening 25 minutes. 23 minutes. Let's say that much. He's given quite a lot of ball away. I think, as you say, he wanted the give and go there, but he ended up playing it infield, and it was easy pickings for Royce, who could just clear away. I think my only fear for Dortmund is how long are they going to be able to hold out here, because they are starting to give the ball away quite a bit. The Leverkusen press is working out well, just as they go through again here. Big chance here. Oh, it's a big miss. Looks like a handball there, no? Was there not a possible handball on the... I think it was Wirtz who kind of kicks the ball into the hand there. Chan, I think it was. It looked to me like he went with the hand. But, again, it's wasteful, though, by Bayer Leverkusen. It is a bit worrying that at the minute. That was a 2-on-1 there. I mean, all he has to do is play the ball right, and he played it too high over the head. I think it was Hoffmann again, was it, who ended up going through there. Just as Marius Wolf on a rare Dortmund foray forward. The ball is held up by Füllkrug, and Bino Gittins has it out wide. Let's see what he can do with this.
Not much.
He gets the cross in, or he went for like a cross shot there. It was pretty poor in truth. But yeah, just let's have a look at that again. To me, it looked like there was a suspicion of handball in there, definitely. We just see the replay now.
I don't think he touched it. No, it came nowhere close to his hand. Yeah, that was an excellent play from Wirtz there. He didn't have a target. He didn't have a tall target in the box to aim for. Where was Boniface? Boniface should have been crashing in there too. I mean, he had plenty of time to catch up to the attack. I guess, you see that so much. We mentioned that a lot on our weekly pod too, about how in German football, strikers are expected to work a lot of deep drops. And you see that from Boniface and Füllkrug, as a matter of fact, in this match as well. Füllkrug was just working a very, very deep drop on the Dortmund left there for a while. Let's see here. They're going to try they'll try on the left now. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay. Yeah, you got Sabitzer and Kahn working so deep there. Working so very deep that, it might as well be a back six. Another reason why we don't have too much counter potential on the BVB side. There's Wirtz. Do something for us, maybe. Still going. Nothing outlasts the little German phenom Energizer bunny. That's a nice hold from Boniface. Does he run a corner? Okay.
Good play from Boniface. That was the first good thing he's done, really, there. In a tight space, he managed to win a corner for his side. Looks like they're sending the whole team forward here. It looks like a lot of men forward for this corner, doesn't it? It looks like we could be seeing maybe one of the first kind of real set-piece moves here, as a lot of Leverkusen players go to the edge of the area. I'd be interested.
Oh, my God. We finally played a long corner, and Tar whiffs.
It's messed up though there. I think it fell for Tar. Was it Tar in the end? He got a free hit there, but he just kind of miskicked it basically. So
straightening his body out with Schlotterbeck. Schlotterbeck's holding him there, but not enough to warrant a penalty, I would say.
He should have got his foot on that, really, in truth. I think just as always, it Hummels who gives in a tight spot here after the play out from the back, and he's done well to win a free kick, actually, there, the big man. Jonas Hoffmann again fouls him. Yeah, it was actually a pretty dodgy play out, I think, from Kobel, who put him in a lot of trouble, but he did well to win a free kick with 2 Leverkusen men on him, just outside his own area there as well, Hummels. He does tend to turn up for the big games, doesn't he, Hummels? I've criticised him quite a lot this season, in truth, but for the big games, you can rarely criticise him, unless it's Bayern, obviously. But he likes the Champions League games. He likes the kind of top 4 games. And, he's been pretty solid tonight so far. But yeah, obviously 27 minutes on the clock. It's 1-0 to Borussia Dortmund. The game is set up into a kind of clear tactical balance. Leverkusen with pretty much all of the possession. They're going to look to pick off on the break. But Leverkusen, a lot of key players have not really shown up so far. We've not seen much from Florian Wirtz, in truth. We've not seen really anything from Boniface. And is that a bit concerning, Peter, that the likes of these players are not really showing up for this game? Or is it just like a poor first 25 minutes or so?
No, they're running hard. They're trying different things. I think, I'm fairly confident that they can find an equalizer and dig it out here at some point. It'd be nice if Dortmund went up 2-0 because that would interject more urgency into the game. But I have every bit of confidence that Leverkusen leveled this up, and I would imagine that they do so before the half as well. At a certain point, they're going to find a breakthrough here. It is, as I just mentioned, a back 6 from Dortmund. They're defending hard and tight, but Rierson is having his problems there on the BVB left. Schlotterbeck and Hummels always have errors in them. Let's see here. Oh my God! Oh, is he? Okay, well done.
Jeez, it looked like he was through them for a minute, didn't it? But good goalkeeping from Hadansky there to just about get out. But it looked like a crazy ball through there, but it was easily intercepted by the Bayer goalkeeper in the end. Yeah, I mean, obviously, what have you made of Füllkrug? Because, I mean, for me, Füllkrug is a player who's really starting to show his form, really, for Dortmund. I think it's not only the goals, but I just think the way he puts himself about in that front line. You know, we saw him get a really good assist in this game, a really, really nice play, actually, for the assist on the Rierson goal. I mean, how do Germans feel about him? Because he's most likely going to be in number 9 of the Euros, you know? I mean, are people happy with him, or do you think, really, he could be better in this team?
Well, I mean... The initial Nagelsmann 4-2-2-2, you know, that he sort of cultivated himself in Leipzig and Hoffenheim, where you have Füllkrug and Leroy Sané leading the line on the top axis. That's pretty decent. I think that Füllkrug has surprised many of us with how effective he's been in Dortmund. You know, we were really thinking that this was going to be another Anthony Modeste case when he signed. I remember you and I were sort of joking about it, like, you know, okay, what's going to happen here? You know, we assumed that Sebastian Haller would maintain the starting spot in Dortmund, but you know, he's barely featured at all. So Füllkrug has come in to replace him. I thought that Füllkrug was going to be a backup. I think that you know, despite the fact that Donyell Malen had a bit of a scoring drought, which he canceled out last week, I like Füllkrug and Malen up top together in a 4-4-2. I think Malen has a lot of talents as a striker, both in drawing coverage and scoring his own goal. This is a free kick in a promising position.
Yeah, it is. You could take us through this one if you want, Peter.
Okay. Well, we've got Grimaldo and Hoffmann standing over it. I would not be fooled by that. I think we're going with Grimaldo, and I think he's going to try to curl it over that over the left wall there. Yeah, it definitely looks like Grimaldo is going to take it. And if I would wager on him potentially scoring here. I mean, he's just that good, particularly from this position with his left foot. So let's
big chance.
Yeah, he scored from precisely this position before this season, and I don't even okay. Dortmund wall is slanted fairly. It's slanted right. Oh, he's got some good sight lines here. Oh, definitely. I think we're okay.
You're confident. Oh, it's a save. It's a save in the end, but it's not got. Did you see that, though? That was interesting what happened there. There was a Dortmund man on the line as well. Dortmund had committed a man forward to actually stand on the line, by the look of it.
Absolutely.
They fear the free kicks that much from the Spaniard. It was on target, as it always is, but it didn't quite have the power to get past Kobo. But yeah, definitely a warning sign there from those free kicks from the Spaniard. Well, he doesn't only score free kicks as well. I mean, he's got, I think, 4 goals from outfield play as well, which is just ridiculous. I think he's got 7 goals in 12 games from left back, which is just, I'm not sure there'll be another left back in world football who's got that many goals so far this season. But yeah, not far off an 8th there. But yeah, there was a man there. Did you see that they put a man like, I think it was Emre Can, was it? That was put on the line.
No, it was Hummels.
Yeah, it was Hummels. Yeah, clever play from the former German starting centre-back, who's kind of come back into the side really now a little bit as well after a lack of other options.
I was mentioning that Hummels doesn't have, you know, the same speed or pace anymore, and we, you know, a lot of his monster tackles are recovery tackles these days, and that dates back actually to the Euros. I mean, you remember when Joachim Löw brought him and Thomas Müller back for the 2021 Euros, the late Euros there. And particularly in that first match against France, I mean, he was just getting toasted nonstop. Somehow he made these recovery tackles, even though it looked like he was carrying a freaking piano on his back.
and that's carried on basically for the last 2.5 years since that as well, I think. Really.
Yeah, I mean, he is a German footballing legend. There's no doubt about that. I mean, he's going to go down as one of our, you know, he's a player that in 20 years or so will be considering for the all-time German team. There's no question about that. I mean, he was the defensive captain when they won the World Cup in 2014. A back 4 with 4 center backs in it, by the way. So. Yeah, we'll talk about the Euros at the half and maybe answer some of the questions that I see popping up here. It's not going to be the most pleasant conversation. I can presage that for you right now.
Definitely, yeah. Just as obviously Leverkusen come forward again, Hoffmann again losing the ball though. He's not really enjoying his most fruitful evening here at all. But there are signs that Leverkusen are starting to get a little bit more play. They're winning a lot of free kicks, but they've not quite managed to utilize them to the best of their ability thus far. BVB are playing very slow too. This is a new side to the BVB that we'd never really seen before Edin Terzic came in. That a kind of more defensive Borussia Dortmund, which is something that basically just didn't exist prior to Edin Terzic. But just as another poor ball there from Boniface. It was well defended, but he should have been able to find his man there in a good position as Dortmund come forward this time through Bino Gittins again. He seems to be their out ball at the minute, Bino Gittins. Keeps the ball well, although he's lost it there. Great play again from Palacios, who for me has been probably the Leverkusen best player so far today. I think, but yeah, I mean, obviously this is a new feature to Dortmund. There's no question about that.
And that's the reason that he was brought back. I mean, he was the interim trainer once they let Lucien Favre go in 2020-21 season. And then you had the year of Marco Rose. Terzic was merely a placeholder for Rose. He was the interim trainer who was appointed in November until the end of the season. And it was through Terzic and some more defensive discipline, not to mention a certain Erling Haaland, that they were able to come back from, 7th, 8th place in the table and qualify for the Champions League. And Terzic, of course, accomplished that last year as well. That's why I don't like this talk about, sacking Terzic because of some of the disappointing results. I think, if anything, he's proven that given time, he can get this team, this squad, back on the upswing. And he's got a lot of heart and passion as a local boy who grew up supporting Dortmund, still a young man, and is highly respected by his players, of course. Nice. Ooh, okay, Bino, let's see what you got here. Oh, nice. Might have passed out to Füllkrug wide there. We'll see if Füllkrug has it now. First touch, Gittins. What are we going to... Oh, man, we're nibbling around the area nice and...
yeah, a bit wasteful there, really, wasn't it? But... Yeah, good play from Gittins in the end, but it's pretty well defended again. I think it was Palacios in there. He does so much work as that defensive midfielder, doesn't he? He really does. I think he's one of the most improved players in the last year in the Bundesliga for me. But yeah, I mean, obviously BVB showing again. We have seen this so much, the kind of counter-attacking BVB, and often that's when they play the best for me, actually, nowadays, when they play kind of that style. I think we see them more defensively focused, which is massive. Yeah, it was a huge tackle actually there. Yeah, it was. Rierson trying to kind of restore his pride after getting a bit of a runaround really by Frimpong. Although he does have the only goal of the match so far. It's ironic how football can work, and probably the weak link so far. But he has the leading goal for the away side. But yeah, for me, this is where Dortmund are at the best nowadays. I really do believe that. I think as a counter-attacking team, we've seen them do really well under Terzic. Good play. Oh, but again, it's cut in poorly this time by, was it Hoffmann again? I think Sabitzer ended up clearing it there.
It was Wirtz, but he did earn a corner.
Yeah, he did earn a corner, yeah. But I believe that, as I say, BVB are very comfortable in this style nowadays. This is something they didn't have before Terzic. And I agree. I think Terzic is doing pretty well, in my opinion. You've got to remember he's had, Haaland sold just as the corner comes in. Oh, it looked on the camera, it looked like it was heading towards goal, but it was actually heading away from goal there. Mm-hmm. And it's once again recycled by...
the set piece, I would say that it's very, very interesting development here. How and there's is he? Was that Hummels who headed it?
That's got to be better from Boniface, the header there. Well, he looks unconfident. I'm going to go that far as saying that. He looks like a man who's just not feeling it at the moment. What do you think, Peter?
Well, he's been having problems. He's been having some real profligacy problems in front of goal. I think when he scored in the Europa League, and we were talking about that on the prediction show, that was his first goal in 3 or 4 matches or something like that. So what's happened with him is that he's started to have some confidence issues. He's started to have some touch issues. I remember back when we were way back at the beginning of the season when we were doing our wrap up of the first match day. And we were talking about Boniface. First of all, we had to acknowledge that we were pronouncing his name wrong. As we see, it was not Boniface, but in fact Boniface. And, I noted that, his touch is a little wild sometimes. There's still some refinement that he needs to get through. And then, of course, he went on to become a scoring sensation. I look like an idiot, not for the first or the last time. And then, but recently, things have just been a little bit too wild from him. And he's been perhaps overthinking things a little bit in front of goal. So you can tell that let's not forget, when he joined from Union Saint-Gilloise, this was still a player that was valued around, 6 million or so in transfer mark listings. Now he's up to 40 million after his, the manner in which he's been able to get on the score sheet this season across all competitions. But, we still got a players that need some. Oh, there's Cotonou unleashing Frimpong. The square is not going to find anybody. Boniface was waiting. Yeah.
Yeah, Frimpong quite wasteful with a lot of those cut-ins, really. He seems to rush it a little bit. He likes to get the early ball in, but we're getting close to double figures of them we've seen this match so far. I think we really are. Like, it's been that many of them we've seen, but not one of them has found the man, really. Yeah, just as they get in again behind. Oh, geez, yeah. To be fair, the last-ditch defending has been good from BBB. They look very well set in that defensive structure. But, all it takes is just that one moment of magic, isn't it? They're getting the opportunities through that, obviously, that right side. Rierson is struggling badly at the end of the day, and it's unlikely to get better as the match goes on. Maybe we will see a tactical switch there, do you think, Peter? Because it's obviously a big weakness.
I think that, no, I don't think we see a substitution from either trainer at the half. But, Leverkusen really are, they're not used to playing behind like this. And I like, for the most part, what I see from them, both from open play, even though a lot of it's going down that right-hand side and it seems unimaginative. But you see how Cotonou and Ta are pressing high. There's some nice triangulation there between Palacios and Xhaka. There's Xhaka. He's got Frimpong. What can we do?
Frimpong again. No way. Oh, dear. Yeah, that must be double figures now, the number of chances he's had to put a ball in, really. Yeah. It's not his day, but as you say, some of the play from through the midfield and the defense as well. Cotonou has become a real asset to this team in terms of getting forward at the right times. I think he's had a great game as well, Cotonou, so far. But Frimpong, wow. Yeah, that must be 7 or 8 times, really. That's no exaggeration, guys. He's got in behind the fullback, but he's not been able to find his man on one single occasion so far. But yeah, I think, to be honest, Leverkusen, they've played well at the end of the day. They've not been poor by any means. Like, the football's been good. They've dominated possession. They have created movements, but not really chances. That's the problem.
Nice.
Massive tackle there as well. Palacios, wow, he's just amazing, really. And he played a really good ball in again, but it's actually, is it Grimaldo who was dispossessed there by the outcoming Fulkrug's down.
And Wirtz has got his face in his shirt there. Did we have a aerial collision there? Quite possibly.
No, I think he's just frustrated. Yeah, the young man, I think. Yeah. I think Fulkrug is a player. He does have a bit of gamesmanship in him, doesn't he? He knows the right time to stay down and things. But I'm not really criticizing him for that, because I think at the end of the day in football, you kind of have to do that a little bit, if you want to win big tournaments and things. Okay, great play again. Ooh.
Palacios? No, why not? It's good. A good idea for him to have a go there.
Yeah. Good play. It really worked out. Kind of good opening there, but it was a poor strike in the end. Wirtz, good play from him. He's got to be doing a bit better with that for me, because there was an opportunity there, but he kind of sliced it high, wide, and not so handsome from the Argentinian World Cup winning midfielder. But yeah, they are starting to kind of get through a little bit more regularly now, aren't they, Peter? And, you are starting to probably think that maybe BBB will be happy to get in at half-time at 1-0 now.
Yeah. Well, my prediction that Leverkusen were going to equalize before the half, it looks increasingly unlikely to become true. But I definitely think that it's not for lack of trying. They've been the better team. They've been the more dominant team, not only from open play, but the set pieces are steadily improving. Xabi just broke out the junk designs in the beginning with Hoffmann and Wirtz standing over all those short corners. I thought I was watching a Phil Neville coach team for a second there. I mean, it was.
That's a fair point.
Okay. Oh, well, there we go for the long switch there. Yeah, I mean they're gonna try and equalize before the break, and this has been a very enjoyable football match. Lots of aesthetically pleasing, eye-catching, optically good football from Leverkusen, and a lot of good defending. The match thus far has not disappointed. No. We obviously want some more goals here, but oh, good lord!
Oh, jeez, that was last-ditch defending to say the least. There, yeah.
Okay, nice.
Was it Hummels? It had to be Hummels again there, right, with the last-ditch defending. But yeah, as you say, I think Leverkusen have actually got better as the half's gone on. The football is really nice. They're completely dominating the midfield. Like Palacios and Xhaka have been, really, really good. It's just been the kind of final moments haven't been there. But I think Alonso will say he's quite happy with what he's seen, in truth. I mean, at times, Leverkusen are playing it around Dortmund like they're an amateur team, to be honest. But it's just been the final ball hasn't been there. Just as they win a corner into the last minute of normal time of this half. They will be frustrated to be behind because, they have been the better side and some of the football has been really good. But, yeah, let's just stay with me for this corner as it comes in because, as you say, the set pieces have been improving steadily for the team. As the ball comes in from the side, it looks good again. Oh, geez, they got lucky on that one, Dom. And it's going to be another corner, but it went right through there. But they're asking for a free kick on the Grimaldo corner. Oh, it was a beautiful corner, that one, wasn't it? Oh, no, it shouldn't be. It should actually be a goal kick. I guess VAR will overturn this and give a goal kick for that one because it came off to be honest, hapless Boniface today, really, who just hasn't really been able to do anything right, in truth. Yeah, what's the score? It's 1-0 to the away side, Borussia Dortmund. Yeah, thanks for checking in there. You can actually see, I think, on the thing there, they just tell you that Rierson scored after 5 minutes for the away side. It has been given now as a goal kick, just as 2 minutes they've added on time. His signal, Peter.
Yeah, I'm having some signal problems with ESPN's coverage here, so I'm seeing a lot of pixels. Yeah, they've gone ahead and gone to the technical difficulty screen, so you're going to have to talk us through the duration of the half. I can't see anything. Oh, maybe I'll do XG predictions. That's always fun. Let's see. I'm gonna guess 0.75 Dortmund.
Oh, big chance! It's 1-1. It's 1-1 on the stroke at halftime, and it's Florian Wirtz with an amazing strike. The cutback finally comes good. They're celebrating like they won the league. The whole team over there hugging him. That's the absolute answer that the home side needed. Xabi Alonso is pretty quiet, but must have been the 15th cutback, finally comes good. I think it was again down that right side where they've just not been able to defend at all. It was actually Dortmund in possession, but it was well recycled. Oh, is there an offside call there? Oh, dear. Oh, dear, oh, dear. I think we could see this pulled back for offside on Boniface, incredibly. He looked offside to me, but you never know these days the way. It was in the build-up as well. It was actually Frimpong who got his first good ball, and it was a brilliant finish from Wirtz, but I think it's going to get called back, guys, I'm afraid. To me, it looked offside in the build-up. We're going to have to look at the replay. To be honest, on the cameras, you can barely tell these days. Half the time, the goals that look onside are given as offside, and the goals that look offside are given as onside. So you just don't know. But it did look very, very dubious there in the build-up. It was a header on from Boniface. I guess this will get checked. It will be very frustrating, to be honest, because sometimes you have these days in football. It is all eyes on the referee now. It has gone to a VAR review, this goal. Oh, and he's giving it offside. It's a cruel game, football. It's a cruel game, really. The one time they finally get it good, and it was clearly offside, but it didn't look it. When you were watching the game, you thought, oh, that's fine. But it sometimes happens in football. It's an absolute sickener for the home team, and the halftime whistle has just gone. But Peter, I mean, geez, Bayer Leverkusen are going to be sick, absolutely sick on that one.
Yeah, the ESPN feed is back on. It's still having pixelization problems, so I've not actually seen the play yet. I've not seen this beautiful goal that's been disallowed just yet. I mean, I have, I can see now Leverkusen's last press of what's sure to be the last press of the half year.
It's not actually half time, by the way. There was a mistake, and Leverkusen are attacking again here. Jeez. Okay. Whew. Leverkusen want to go in at 1-1, and they've still got the ball. They won the ball back again through Kosunu. The ball comes in. It's straight at Bino Gittins. It's Leverkusen have it in the penalty area, and the referee's, as he know, it's still going, but Wirtz holds onto the ball seemingly until tomorrow. He just doesn't want to lose that ball at all. And it's Hoffmann now. It must be half-time any second now. As soon as this moves over, it's... Ooh. Oh, it's still in. They've got it again. Oh, it's been cut back again. Oh, and he's knocked it over. I can't believe this. Oh, dear, oh, dear. Granit Xhaka has a great chance to equalise, and he's smashed it over the bar. Oh, Leverkusen, really. Football is such a cruel game sometimes. It was great play again by man of the heart, Palacios, who did brilliantly to find Xhaka, but he's just blasted it over. And it is half-time this time. Wow. What an end to the half, but how unlucky can Leverkusen be, guys?
Yep. That is, well, they should have equalized before half. By the way, my XG predictions were inflated by half on both sides. I think both sides have 0.4 something XG.
Yeah,
that's
they do, actually.
On my screen. That's surprising considering what an exciting and enjoyable football match we've been watching. And Leverkusen absolutely should have. They can feel hard for not equalizing during the half. There, they certainly deserved it. We deserve a 1-1 scoreline out of this this game at least. But Leverkusen still looking very, very sharp. I would tip them to score shortly after the restart or not long after. Suppose we'll since it is halftime, we can get to some questions if we have some outstanding.
Rory as well. I think Rory was a bit behind there because he was just saying 1-1 as things stood. Yeah, and he said, "I hate VAR." Yeah, I think we all do, but at the end of the day, I suppose it leads to the integrity of the game and things. But to be honest, I actually think, from what I can gather, the opinion in England is that people are just absolutely over it now. VAR, really. I think the vast majority of English football fans just want it scrapped, basically now. But I mean, in this case, I think it was the correct decision. I called it when I saw the first replay that he looked offside, but would it really have changed the fact that the goal, if he was 20 centimeters further forward? Probably not, in truth, but that is the rules of football, you know what I mean? And if he is beyond the last defender, it has to be given as offside. But it's disappointing. I'm disappointed because I believe that it was a great goal and Leverkusen deserved to be level, but at the end of the day, it would have been hard on Dortmund if it had stood, I suppose. So, yeah, that's the way football goes. It is a cruel game, but, yeah, that's just how it goes, I suppose. Yeah, I think good point from Ballon as well. Leverkusen haven't been bad. They just have to keep going, yeah. It's a rough one to take that, but they've got to use it as even more kind of power and say, we've been hard done by here. We've been the better team, and we're going to go and give it to them in the second half, Because, to be honest, if this continues in that last 10 minutes, and I can't see Leverkusen not winning, to be honest, because the last 10 minutes was just the Alamo was sent in. It was just chance after chance in that last few minutes, even though it didn't really show on the XG. But I mean, there were a lot of chances and a lot of opportunities to cross the ball and things. Yeah. But it's 1-0 to the away side at halftime. A lot of comments as well about Florian Wirtz. Yeah, I think DM as well said, would Bayer sell Wirtz in the winter window?
No, absolutely not. He's at this stage, he's still represented by his family, namely his father. And his father has been quite adamant that he wants him to remain in Leverkusen through the Euros. It was heartbreaking for Wirtz that he wasn't able to partake really in the World Cup a year ago. Strange saying that a year ago. Yes, we did have a Winter World Cup, but he was still coming back from that ACL tear, and it was just absolutely heartbreaking for him because he's an amazing phenom, Wirtz has. From the moment that Leverkusen plucked him from Köln, which they tend to do, they might be doing that with another young prospect, Justin Deal, soon. We knew that he was a different breed of footballer. And if there is some hope for the Euros, I was talking a little bit during the broadcast about Nagelsmann's sort of 4-2-2-2 with Nicolas Füllkrug and Leroy Sané up top on the top axis, and Jamal Musiala and Florian Wirtz, sort of out wide on the support axis. that's something that can really be promising for Germany in the Euros. Of course, we have to get the damn midfield situation sorted out. Gundogan and Kimmich just cannot work together. One of them's got to go, probably in favor of Pascal Gross of all people.
that says everything about Germany's problem.
Yeah. So, I mean, those top two axes, Füllkrug, Sané, Wirtz, and Musiala, assuming that they're all in form, can be quite dangerous. We need to get the midfield sorted out. We need a consistent left back. That's our real problem there, as Gosens has been completely dipping, and Raum seems to not be maturing the way that a lot of his coaches want him to. Need help at right back as well. Don't have a natural one. Henrichs, I don't think, is up to snuff. Süle, it's not his natural position. He's as fast as a big man can be. A man of his stature can be, but I mean, we need a little bit more speed on that right flank. So, yeah, I mean, that's my assessment of Germany of the Euros. I mean, look, it's a great draw. Can't wait to see them kick off against Scotland. That's great. I mean, I think all football fans appreciate the fact that Scotland are now in their second consecutive Euros. What did we have to wait? Was it 20 freaking years?
Yeah, 1998 until 2021. It was so like 23 years. Yeah,
absolutely.
I think even the English are happy to see Scotland back because it's such a great footballing nation. Like, an interesting fact about Scotland is that they have more people by population percentage that attend football matches than any country in Europe. Actually, in Scotland, they have so many. Like, it's such a big. I think they have 4 or 5 million people in the stadium in the country. And like the highest percentage of people attending football matches per week. So that just says what a big football country Scotland is. And I can guarantee that come the Allianz Arena on the 14th of June, that the whole city will be full of Scottish people. I can guarantee it. It'll be absolutely partisan. Yeah. And it'll be a nice atmosphere because we always joke about the Scottish. The second highest number of Germany sold shirts is in Glasgow as well. So the Germans and the Scottish have always had like a kind of love relationship with each other, and I think definitely it'll be a really nice atmosphere. Both countries like each other, I think, and it'll be a good atmosphere there for that one, Peter.
Yeah. And Balam mentions that Switzerland have Shaqiri. They have Xhaka as well. So I would not take Switzerland lightly at all, particularly not after what happened with Austria over the international break. If you think that Germans losing to Austria is humiliating, like being beat up by your kid sister, losing to Switzerland would be like the baby exiting its crib and beating you up.
It wasn't just the fact they lost to Austria; they got hammered. I thought it was a very dominant. But to be honest, Austria, they've had a bit of in English we always say like what do we say, like a golden era, really, because they've got the likes of Lime, a great player. They've got Sabitzer, they've got a lot of players at top clubs that they didn't have in the past, and obviously a lot of good players from the Bundesliga as well in the Austrian team. So they have a bit of a golden era by their standards, I think. But
they have Ralf Rangnick, who should be coaching our national
team. That's true, actually.
That's what they are.
Yeah, they could be a bit of a dark horse for I'm not going to say to win the Euros, but to at least go to like the last 8 or even a big shot at the semi-finals, maybe. But I mean, let's just look at the Germany group. I mean, it's obviously, as we mentioned, Scotland, Hungary, and Switzerland. I mean, on paper, you think good group, really. You know what I mean? I mean, you've got no powerhouse second team, which sometimes you can get in there, because I know like the Netherlands have got France, for example. Sometimes you get 2 massive like powerhouse nations in the same group, but Germany don't have that. But I mean, the thing is, as you've said, Peter, I mean, the form has been so poor of recent weeks. The likes of Scotland and Hungary will look at this game and think we can beat Germany.
They could lose all 3 of their group stage fixtures the way that things are going now. I mean, Hungary is also a tough test. Let's not forget that final group stage match in Euro 2021, in which Germany they were awful. They couldn't find a way through. Hungary, of course, provided that Vili Orban is back from injury in time. I mean, they have an excellent defensive captain. They have both of the Shailais. even though Attila is not starting for Hoffenheim right now, and Roland is hurt. They have Soboschlei. This is Hungary could give them a pretty good run for their money. So could Switzerland. Yeah. With Scotland, I mean, yeah. A 0-0 draw against Scotland, that would count as a loss, I would say. Yeah. I don't know how English fans felt about it in the last Euros when Scotland drew England 0-0. But I mean,
don't talk about it. We've all forgotten about that one.
Okay. Well, you mentioned the great atmosphere. I mean, that was also. I remember I was covering that match for the blog at the time. I remember the pictures of all the Scots in Trafalgar Square in London there, just like absolutely wreaking havoc.
It'll be even better in Germany. It'll be even better because at that game there was still some COVID restrictions, so that I think they were limited with the number of fans they could take. I can guarantee that the Scottish will be, doing everything they can to be in Munich on that in Maximilian Square. I'm pretty sure that just about the whole of Glasgow and Edinburgh as well. Obviously, Glasgow is seen to be like the main Scottish city for football more than Edinburgh, which tends to be a little bit more rugby in general. But yeah, I can guarantee there'll be a lot of Scots over there for that game. Yeah, but I mean, obviously the way I see it is that Germany should still get through. They are home. Obviously, the games are going to be in Munich, Stuttgart, and also in Frankfurt. So some good stadiums to host these Germany games as well. But I mean, for me, I can't see Germany not getting through. But the problem is that, as you say, they played a lot of similar teams to this, so like to Turkey, Austria. Their level is not too different from teams like Switzerland and Hungary, in truth. And they've been getting turned over against these teams. That's the problem. So it must be a little bit worrying as a German perspective.
We were worried prior to the 2006 World Cup as well. Germany was down in 15th, 16th or something like that in the world rankings, as low as they've been. This is as low as they've been since we were preparing to host the 2006 World Cup. And that, of course, turned into the Sommermärchen, the famous Sommermärchen under Jürgen Klinsmann, in which Philipp Lahm scored that beautiful opening goal against Costa Rica in the opening match from well outside the 18. And Miroslav Klose picked up a brace, and Thorsten Frings also hammered in this awesome, strike from maybe 30 meters out. And then the German tournament was off and running from that point. They didn't lose again until they lost to Italy in the semifinals, and even surprisingly shocked Argentina in the quarters, in that famous penalty shootout. But this is a different beast. I think that really, that was kind of a weak group that Germany were in. It was Costa Rica, Poland, and Ecuador. And, they really got rolling with that 4-2 victory. Then they beat Poland in the last second with a goal from Oliver Neuville, David Ardonker on the assist and all of that. And then Ecuador was just a dead rubber match. So I don't know. I mean, if they can't, they're going to have to get out of the gate against Scotland. They really are going to have to do so. And I might see about getting the U.S. feed there, because I assume ESPN's going to put Derek Ray on that call. They better.
Yeah. That'd be great.
Yeah, he's fabulous. Yeah. But they better put him on there. Yeah. Who else can you have from Germany, Scotland?
Yeah. But I mean, also, what about the order of the fixtures? Because I often find that the order of the fixtures can be important as well in these groups. So obviously they start off with the Scotland game, which will be the opening game of the tournament, I believe, which is a great opening game, by the way. But also then obviously it's the Hungary game, and then the Switzerland game will round off the group. So, I mean, you would probably say that Switzerland will be second favourites in the group because they do have a good record, of going deep into tournaments. I remember in the last Euro, they beat, I think it was France, right? I think they knocked France out against all odds. So, and I think they went to the quarterfinal in the last Euro. So, yes. That they are a hard team to beat, Switzerland. So maybe the fact that they do have potentially the two weaker teams in the group first, does give you the opportunity to, even if you only scrape 2 wins, like 2-1s or 1-0s, it should get you through the group before the last game. And then, you can really start to hit the ground running in the knockouts. Is that what Germans are hoping for? Or?
Of course, it's what we're hoping for, but I just don't know. I mean, I think they could lose a tight match to Scotland, just like they lost to Mexico in 2018. They could, and the group gets progressively more difficult. And unfortunately, with Nagelsmann, we've seen this when matters get more difficult. He wants to make more, ridiculous experiments that his squad is not drilled in, that they're not trained in. We were all very nervous about this appointment of Julian Nagelsmann as the Bundestrainer. I mean, he's still very young. He's still only 34 years of age, if I'm correct on that. He's sort of had his confidence inflated by the fact that he was coaching Hoffenheim and Leipzig. I wouldn't say that his tenure with Bayern was necessarily a failure. It was a surprise to see him get sacked so early. But the reason that they did ultimately end up dismissing him over the international break is that he was trying too hard with this back three. They lost. It was Bayern. Did they lose to Leverkusen in that final game before the international break?
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
they did. And they Kahn and Salihamidzic, who followed Nagelsmann out the door, ended up following him out the door. Just said, "Look, this is too much. We want a classic 4-2-3-1 coach. We want Thomas Tuchel. We want somebody who's going to, implement a system and stick with a system." I don't think that Julian Nagelsmann is a proven coach at all. He's won the one title with Bayern München, the one league title, and got eliminated in the cup and the Champions League that year, and probably would have gotten eliminated in the cup and the Champions League had he remained in place. That happened under Tuchel's watch last year. So, I mean, the boy wonder is not necessarily. I don't know. I thought that Louis van Gaal would have been the better appointment, but of course, Germans, they've never had a non-German coach the national team. It's never happened. So I guess they were not prepared to allow national pride to be cannibalized in that fashion just yet. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we've got friendlies against France and Holland in March. Rudi Völler confirmed that. And they're only going to have 2 more test fixtures in the run-up to the tournament. I would have liked it if they schedule 3 or maybe at least 2 in a scrimmage or something like that. And we'll find out in early June who they play. But, I mean, there's just no time to whip this team into shape. You've got 4 friendly fixtures. And the team has no freaking identity. This is bad. This is bad stuff.
Yeah, playing Kai Havertz at left back doesn't exactly help either, does it? I think from the way I see it as an Englishman, obviously commenting on the German national team, but I just think they need a few players just to come good in that first couple of games and inspire a bit of confidence from the fans. And then, then something can happen. Similar to what happened in the summer mention in obviously 2006. It's very ironic because this is probably the worst Germany team since 2006, when they obviously hosted the last major tournament. And obviously that one turned out to be a great success, making the semi-finals, only losing in that classic match against Italy as well, which we were unlucky to lose, by the way. But yeah, we are back underway as well. And yeah, Leverkusen are straight on the front foot, and they're going to be looking, for an early equalizer because they'll feel really hard done to, won't they, Peter, to be behind at half time.
They'll get it. Don't worry. We got some more goals in this game. Leverkusen are going to equalize, and then we're gonna be in for a fine finish. The way that these two teams are playing, it's good football. Yeah, nice through pass there. So that's Wirtz. Well, the idea wasn't bad. Oh, he's recovered. Get up. Jonas. Okay, not much they could do there with Jonas Hoffmann on the top.
Hoffmann, yeah. I think he thought they'd lost the ball, and he was like, damn, no, we didn't. But they won a corner here anyway, so it's a good start. Xhaka can hit the ball from outside the area too. He does a good strike there to win a corner, and they have been dangerous off corners, haven't they, in the last, probably the last 15 minutes of the first half, and they will be looking any kind of angle to get an equaliser here. They've got so many ways that they can score goals, Leverkusen, which is one of the benefits of this team. And, corners, they do get a lot of goals off corners as well.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have a tactical tweak from Xabi at some point. I don't know if your broadcast feed just caught that, but there was a prolonged shot of Paddy Schick on the bench for about 10 seconds.
Yeah. He's coming. Paddy, good old Paddy. We've not seen him for about 3 years, but he's going to come in and I can't even remember the last time I saw the great man on a football pitch.
Well,
yeah. I mean, we used to rave about him on this show. We used to absolutely love him in that season when he got like 25 goals. But since then, he's just been constantly injured for like a year and a half now, hasn't he? Really?
He's back. Don't worry. The way he performed off the bench in the Europa League this week, he's back. He's going to be getting minutes. He's going to be. I mean, he had what was the issue? He had groin problems, which are that's a way of us not avoiding saying a certain part of the male anatomy that might be considered vulgar or offensive. But, so, yeah, those are no fun. Yes.
Oh, it's out. Oh, again blocked though. Wow, it was really well worked move that actually, and it gave Frimpong a lot of time to get it in. Jeez. He can't get out at the minute though, Dortmund. The second half started the same way as what the first one did. What was that though? Was that Frimpong there? Yeah, I don't know what he was doing there. I think he wanted to go wide, but there was no one there, so he just kicks it straight into touch. Basically, yeah, it looked more like a rugby kick for the corner, that one, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know what that was. Yeah, just as Ryerson is really taking his time as well over everything. So we're starting to see that gamesmanship a little bit. Again, you can't blame Dortmund for that, really. In truth, when you're playing such a good team like this, you need to kind of save every second you can, don't you, Peter? Really.
There's oh God. Here we go. Nice. Grimaldo, good staying with it. He's got Wirtz. Ooh, nice tackle there from Hummels. And now they're going to try with Wolf. That's not going to work. No, we're just turning the ball right back over. This just shows you why Leverkusen are so good. And another reason why I'm scared of Switzerland, as I was mentioning at the half, Granit Xhaka.
He's such a good player, really.
Yeah, together with Shaqiri, those are the two Albanian Eagles on the Swiss side, which couldn't be more different in terms of stature. I mean, Xhaka is this huge, tall, imposing man who looks like he eats concrete for breakfast, and Shaqiri is like this. What do they call him? The magical elf dwarf or something?
He is, yeah. And he always looks a little bit overweight and stuff as well. He doesn't look like a footballer, really, does he, Shaqiri? But he must be one of the. I think he's got like the most goals in individual tournaments in Swiss history or something. I think he's been scoring in World Cup since like 2006 or something. He's been playing. I think he came up when he was very young, Shaqiri, didn't he? I think he was like 16, 17. He's pretty much been a Swiss ever present pretty much since then, really. Just as another long distance strike comes in, but it's well wide this time from Grimaldo. But yeah, again, the second half has started exactly the same as the first. BVB just can't get out at all. We just need that one big chance. For me, it might be time to unleash the Paddy Schick. Really. Boniface is just. This is the kind of game you want your striker to be making those great runs, and Boniface just doesn't look at it at the minute for whatever reason.
Maybe his head's a little bit towards AFCON there. Although, Tapsoba and Kosunu have both played excellent matches. Now they've got Tapsoba trying to come forward. Actually, that back three is, Jonathan Tah. We've talked about him a lot on the watch-alongs. I mean, he's the natural heir to Per Mertesacker, and that he's a BFG. He's a big FMG. Is this Bino Gittins? He's got what a recovery that was by Kosunu.
Wow, yeah. That was Mats Hummels-esque, but the only difference is Kosunu didn't make the initial mistake there. But yeah, that was massive. I thought that was going to be 2. What a player Kosunu is, by the way, nowadays.
Yeah,
he's one of the best defenders in the league, really.
Well, I'm looking forward. I always cover AFCON. I mean, I don't cover it for my blog anymore, but I'll be covering it for Bully News. It's going to be a great tournament. Kosunu is from Cote d'Ivoire, who are going to be hosting the tournament this time. So, I expect some great stuff from him.
It took him a while to impress. I would say last season was, especially the first half was pretty, woeful from him at times, in truth. But he really got better under Alonso. And just as they win another corner here, how many corners must he have had in this game?
I know. They've got it. Well.
Yeah, not a good one there, though. It goes straight out of play. Yeah, it's
something I can notice here about the Dortmund formation I mean, and Terzic has them well prepared on the set piece plays here. But I think this 4-2-3-1 from Dortmund is compact as hell. I mean, you really don't see any action. I mean, the fullbacks play wide, but Bino Gittins, and whether it's Royce or it's Brandt on the wing, I think they're rotating, they alternate. I mean, there's just no action on the wing there. So this is one seriously compact 4-2-3-1 that's meant to clog the midfield against Leverkusen. Not working terribly well. The thing, I mean, because Leverkusen are still penetrating, but I mean, there's enough guys back in the box to defend, as we see perhaps here another.
Oh, he wins the free kick cleverly there again, Palacios. Jeez, he is on the floor a lot, but he knows how to buy those free kicks from referees, doesn't he? Which, to be honest, nowadays is kind of a skill in football, let's be honest. We don't see many players like that in the Bundesliga, to be honest, who really look to try and buy free kicks very often, but it's not really the German way in truth, but Palacios is definitely one of the best at doing that in the Bundesliga for me. But Dortmund just getting a bit into the game now. They're stretching the play a lot and getting a little bit more joy down the wide side. I think great play from Brandt there to unleash. Geez, they can't get it out. But it's good defending again there by Tapsoba, I think it was, who got the final.
They've stretched it. They've definitely stretched this 4-2-3-1 out a little bit since the restart and taken a few more risks. And going for the advantage, which could prove dangerous. Let's be honest. I mean, if this formation is stretched out wide, there's a hell of a lot of things that Palacios and Xhaka can do up the middle, particularly on quick counters. So we'll see if this, as we see Brandt get a little, nothing much doing from that range. You didn't have to come up with something special from there. And now this is Tapsoba, or is it Frimpong?
Frimpong, I think.
It is Frimpong. Okay, Frimpong.
You can tell he's just a lot smaller, basically.
You can't miss Kosunu, not with that hairdo. That's
Kosunu today has been superb, really.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can't wait to see him for Côte d'Ivoire. I mean, it's going to be. I have high hopes for them in that tournament. They won not too long ago, was it? They won
2013 or 14, I think. They've always been a team that have produced a lot of good players, really, Côte d'Ivoire. I think for such a small country, they've always had like a kind of conveyor belt of good players coming through there.
That was 2015 it was, I think. That was the famous one. Didier Drogba's family was watching the penalty shootout on television. That was one of the best things that was ever shared on the internet. In my opinion.
I think that was the year they had Yaya Toure and Kolo as well. So they had so many good players. Kalou as well, remember him? Solomon Kalou. They had a great team, really. The Toure brothers, Drogba. Also Eboué as well, I remember him, who was at Arsenal. They had a lot of good players, and they still do, really. So, But Frimpong getting a lot of ball now on that side again. Just as a good ball comes through. Some of the, the passing interchange is beautiful. They create so many chances, but as you say, they're just so compact, aren't they? So compact, and they just can't get that kind of key pass through at the minute.
I mean, they've gone back to being compact again. I mean, they're like a couple of minutes ago they were stretching it a little bit, but now they're back to safety first. It appears.
There's another corner. I think this is the 11th corner after 55 minutes. Incredibly, Dortmund haven't had not one corner for Dortmund. But generally the standard of the corners hasn't been that great. Although this one's better, it goes out wide. They can't get enough space in the box though. They just cannot get the space. They're just defending so well, Dortmund here. I think the best chance is if Dortmund get the ball and they can have a bit more space, because when Leverkusen have these set plays, they just commit so many men back, Dortmund, and it's just they just can't get the space in there. And they're not making the mistakes. That's one thing that, Edin Terzic has really clearly got into. Oh no. Boniface again wasn't in the right position. It's just not working out for the man. Really.
Bring on Schick.
We want Paddy. I think it's time for Paddy. I really do. Something inside me is telling me.
Bring him on here because this is not. They're letting the game get away from him here. There we go.
I mean, he's a capable player. Just give him half an hour, and I think he can get a double here. It's just not worked out for Boniface. Really, it just hasn't today. Although I say that, again, it's a last-ditch tackle.
Mm.
But when they get into those positions, Boniface was literally standing right behind the last defender there. He was just in the one position where they couldn't get it through to him. If he steps back a little bit in time, it's an easy goal there, basically. But it's just not working out for the Nigerian international at all, is it, at the minute?
Yeah, he's not moving much. I mean, if you look at him, as they're approaching the box and things like this, I mean, he's got this wait and see approach. He's kind of hanging in the air there.
He looks unconfident a little bit. He's missed a lot of chances since the last international break. He's really missed bags full of chances.
It's an unquestionable form dip from him.
Chances in almost every game, and it's just
I don't know what we're trying to do now. I mean, now we're trying. God, the Leverkusen attack starts to look like the Dortmund attack, and that we're trying to just play through 6 guys to no effect.
That was a great move as well. But it's just no good from Boniface. I don't want to keep criticizing him, but he's the one there. This is where your top centre forward, they find space there and they get an easy goal. But he's just not doing that today. I mean, I'm a big fan of him, by the way. I've pretty much done nothing but credit him until today. But I am starting to get a bit worried about his form at the minute. Just as some great play again there from Fulkrug. He's brilliant in the air, isn't he, with those flick-ons? And it was great defending again from Kosunu and Tar, I think it was, to chase back there. The defence is very capable as well of Bayer Leverkusen, but they just need this equaliser. They need this and fast, really, now, because we are starting to get towards 60 minutes. And Leverkusen feel they probably should be winning this game because, they are the better team. They're pretty much superior across the pitch, in truth, probably apart from Fulkrug, really. I would say, if you had Fulkrug or Boniface at the moment, you'd pick Fulkrug, in truth. But, what happened there? Has he just passed the ball out? What happened there? Jeez.
Well, nobody picked up the run on the left there. They had Frimpong working the left there. They Frimpong and Grimaldo switched flanks for a second there to see if they could just come up with something different. I think, you mentioned the corners, like the 11 corners or whatever the hell it's been now. I mean, there's Xabi, even the best trainers don't prepare a playbook that deep. So he's out of moves for his corners out there. I mean, they still have they got Pokal midweek, and then they, and then they've got the Englische Woche, I believe, before it all comes up. So I mean, that's he just has nothing left in the playbook. I mean, from a corner perspective, if they could get Grimaldo within range, then they have a chance off dead balls here.
Some good play, though. They get the ball forward very quickly. Again, though, the Dortmund defense is set already. And it's that man, it's Boniface, who does a bit better this. That was the last-ditch defending from Dortmund. This is like Newcastle away 2.0 at times here. It's that was really the first time we've seen great play from Boniface, really. And he plays a good 1-2, but it's really well intercepted. Someone's down there. Are they asking for a penalty here? It's come out to the edge of the area again, but it's blocked. It's going to be another corner. This is Palacios is down again. Oh, jeez, Although it is, there's nothing in it. I don't know. Did Chan follow through there? He follow through? He
caught him, but oof.
Yeah, it looks soft because he was already falling down. But I think it would be typical. Are they checking here? Are we checking something here?
I think that you could call that a penalty. Although, I mean, Chan wasn't directly aiming at him, and he was, as you correctly pointed out, he was already falling down.
Yeah.
But I mean, he did catch him, and he was nowhere.
It was clearly a foul, but he was already going down. Like it's. I mean, he wasn't on great footing, but he did catch him. There's no question about
actually,
that. I mean,
he played the ball with his left foot. It was just
looks like we're not going to see anything though, from what I can see. Looks like the ref's going to play on here. Yeah, it is going to be play on.
Corner. Yeah, the right call.
I mean, that's the kind of one that you'd be really frustrated if it went against your team. But if you're Leverkusen right now, you're just going to be wondering, is it their day, really?
Well, they probably, based on the balance of play, they would have deserved that. But straight speaking, if you look at the replay, Khan does play the ball with his left foot.
He's looking for it, in the Premier League, we'd say he's looking for it. But Grimaldo here again.
Same thing.
They are getting so many chances, they just cannot get that. Surely! Oh my God, he's not scored. Palacios went through. And it's another shot, and it's going to be another corner. It's like number 13, I think. Now this is just Palacios, regardless of his theatrics, he goes down easily. But what a game he's having! Seriously, he's been the man of the match by probably quite a distance, in my opinion.
Hell of a tackle away from Hummels there.
Yeah, Hummels has had a stormer as well. By the way, I've got to say, what a game he's had today. He has to turn up for this kind of match, doesn't he? But Palacios and Xhaka are just ridiculous in that midfield. It's got to be the best, central midfield pivot in the Bundesliga these days for me. It's but yeah, here we go again. Number 12, it comes out again. But jeez, it looked like we were on for Grimaldo goal number 8, and it curls inches wide. Kobel looked beaten. We are starting to get to the point now where you're going to start saying, is this just going to be one of those days? They've put 17 attempts at goal now. 17 attempts at goal. That doesn't include the disallowed goal and also the penalty claim as well. I mean, they've not been bad. Leverkusen have played, to be honest, as well as they could have done in this kind of game, really, but they've not managed to find that goal.
Well, they're playing like a team that's more than capable of taking the Meisterschale, of winning the league. That much should be okay. We've got our first substitutions here. Let's see what we've got going on. That's going to be Hoffmann coming off. Really hasn't, I mean, I can't say that I've been terribly impressed with him today.
Adli, I guess, will come because he's another good player as well.
Absolutely, yeah, he will. And then it's a double substitution. Karim Adeyemi, I can tell from the haircut, is coming on. And is that Papadopoulos? Or Jesus Christ, I forget how to pronounce this Greek kid's name. What is his name? Let's see.
Pasothopoulos, yeah.
Papadopoulos. Antonitis Papadopoulos is going on.
Is he still at the club? I thought he left about 5 years ago.
No, he's okay. Well, it looks like Schlotterbeck picked up an injury, so because he was sitting down there, so it'll be.
Bino will go off as well for Ad. Adeyemi is a good substitution because he has got burning pace on the wing. Even though he's not the most clinical, he will create chances on the wing.
He scored last week, didn't he? Yeah, I mean, he scored in the Champions League. He did. A lot of controversy surrounding him and his decision to decline the U21 call-up. He wasn't happy about getting snubbed for the senior team, and so he declined the U21 call-up as well. But he's worked hard over the international break, came back in halfway decent form. Looks like we got, Adeyemi on the left, Royce wide, Brunt central. No surprises there. What the hell are we? Well, I mean, of course, now we've got Papadopoulos in central defense. So it might.
That's going to be a big, because Schlotterbeck has played really well today too, by the way. But it's they'll be disappointed about that because that disrupts, the kind of continuity in that defense that's played so well. Leverkusen, if they don't score today, they will not believe it, really, because they've done everything but score. They could have had they have scored, but it was obviously disallowed. And this is going to be one of those days. They've just won a corner there, Dortmund, as well. Their first corner it's actually 12 Leverkusen corners. So, I mean, you can see the level of dominance that they've had. It's just unbelievable, actually. On my... I'm trying to find the possession stats there as well, guys. It's actually, 68% possession for Leverkusen. That's one hell of a lot against a team like Borussia Dortmund. 18 shots against 4 from Dortmund. Passes completed 501 to 238. You can see that everything has been better from Leverkusen apart from the scoreline. And football is a brutal game, really. It really is. Even the pass quote percentages are 87% for Leverkusen, which is really, really good, and only 73 for Dortmund, which is not the best, really. But what can you say, Peter? I mean, Leverkusen have not really done anything wrong performance-wise. Perhaps, possibly Boniface is probably the one man you'd say, should have done better in this game. But it's just not been their day, has it, so far? They just can't get the ball in that proverbial onion bag at the minute.
No, they can't. It's, it would be criminal. It would be an absolute crying shame if this fixture finished with the scoreline that it does, because I mean, they've really done so much right, and they absolutely deserve to have at least a level score line at this juncture. And I mean, let's not forget, if they lose, we got the word today that the Bayern makeup match is not coming until January at the earliest, because of despite the fact that neither Bayern nor Union are involved in the Pokal this week. DFB regulations. There's Papadopoulos with his slick haircut. Conceding
good defending there from him, actually. A good first kind of introduction to the game there. Again, the last ball was misplayed there, though.
I guess
but it's going to be yet another corner. Guess what it is? It's another corner for Leverkusen. Yeah.
Nice flick on. Yeah, I know. These corners are killing me, Mark.
You've got to be doing a bit more. They've not created, as far as I can gather, a single chance off these 13 corners, really. A couple of half chances, maybe, but nothing really clear cut. It's just been one of those days, really. In football, it can be so cruel, really. It is literally Leverkusen are winning on every single measure apart from the scoreline. It's just so brutal, really. Although I think we are going to see the game open up. I think we are going to see Dortmund go for that second goal a little bit more now with Adeyemi on the pitch. And actually, they have got a big chance here. Oh, side netting from Füllkrug. Probably the first chance that Dortmund have had since the 4th minute when they scored the goal, actually, I would say. And it wasn't really a chance, in truth. It was a very tight angle. And, yeah, it was a chance. You've got to say that. But I think we'll see both sides go for it now, because I think Dortmund have got to know now that they can't keep doing this for the whole 90 minutes. I think...
basically, okay. We're beginning to see some tired legs here. And I've not really seen much from Adli. He's a very good player, but I've not seen much from him. He's taking Hoffmann's place on a straight swap there. No real tactical change that I can discern from Xabi. The shape still is straightforward 3-4-3 with permitted improvisations from the players on the football pitch. There's, they've got the stats for Hummels there. 42 touches, 89% passes completed. Challenge 165%. Feels like a hell of a lot more than that.
Yeah, he's had a great game. He really has, But I think, to be honest, my early thought is that the substitutions have worked more in favour of Dortmund. They're getting a bit more possession now. And I think Adeyemi is a great player to bring off the bench. He's got burning pace. He blows hot and cold a little bit sometimes, doesn't he? But he's a great player to bring off the bench. Very, very surprised we've not seen our old friend Paddy Schick yet. He's going to get maximum 20 minutes by the look of it. And to be honest, I'm not sure they're going to gamble on him. Maybe he is nursing a bit of an injury from Thursday night's game.
Not another.
Yeah, well, it seems about right after the last 18 months for him, doesn't it, really?
Well, like we said, he's had groin problems. What's the most, sanitized way we can say that? Paddy Schick's been having some problems with the cojones. It's a horrible thing. And, you don't necessarily want to get surgery on that. I think he's declined a couple of surgeries. No man really wants to tamper with
Who can blame him, really?
Right. It's kind of reminds you a lot what's going on with Mark Uth there in Köln, where you're just like, at a certain point, if you're not going to make it back, it's time to start hanging him up. But Schick's only 27, Uth's 33, 34.
Yeah.
So, it's okay. Xabi's animated. Where's the slip of paper? Give Xhaka the slip of paper. Give him the slip.
Yeah, I think this is probably the least likely that they've looked like scoring in the second half, or the last 5 minutes since substitution. I think BVB have definitely looked better since then. It's still early days, obviously, and I think the snow is starting to hurl, as it is pretty much over the whole of Germany now, which could actually help Dortmund as a defending team a little bit. I think we are starting to see a bit of snowfall there. I know well what that can feel like after sitting through Nuremberg's 5-0 defeat yesterday in the pouring snow. So, yeah. Yeah, I think, definitely.
You paid for this ticket, right? Did you?
That is true, yeah, but I kind of regret it.
For that, no. They should probably refund your ticket for a 0-5 loss. That would be the classy thing to do.
They should to all the fans, really, because it was the XG was 0.15 for Nuremberg. I don't think I've ever seen it lower for a team ever since I've followed the XG stats. 0.15 is just absolutely atrocious. It seems as though Leverkusen have been robbed out of a corner here to me as well.
What the hell?
Number 14.
Yeah, I noticed Boniface arguing that they should have had a corner, but yeah, Victor, what the hell were you boys going to do with it? You don't have any.
Yeah. You don't want a corner. It's better to win the ball back in midfield like they've just done there as well. Yeah, as they again have it in the midfield.
that you probably now Boniface needs to get off now.
Oh, Boniface, come on, Alonso. Now this is where you gotta, as much credit as we've given him, that's one of his big mistakes. I think not to put Paddy on, to be honest, because he's been woeful. Boniface, I just have no other word to say about the Nigerian's performance.
Actually, a player who goes to ground easy would be Karim Adeyemi, been booked for diving on multiple occasions. So oddly, although, God, that was a hilarious match. Last spring when he got booked twice for diving, twice the VAR overruled it. That was an example of VAR working. I remember the match official saying, "Lifesaver." Oh boy, we got another corner. What are we going to do with it now?
No, is it a corner? I don't know. Did it hit someone, or has it just gone over that one?
Adeyemi runs straight into Tapsoba.
For me, they can't give that one if they didn't give the Palacios one, surely, because it was a similar situation. He was already going down when he kind of hit the. They can't give that for me. Is it a corner here?
Grimaldo.
What happened there?
That was Xhaka.
Oh, my God. I think they've lost the ball in their own area there, Dortmund. It's probably one of the first big errors of the game, but Xhaka's shooting boots haven't been on either. Yeah, he passes it back there, and it's actually Boniface with his one and only good piece of play today. And he's actually won the ball back. Quite clever there. Xhaka's got to be scoring for me there. He has the whole goal to aim at, really, with a lot of space. And it's another big chance missed for Leverkusen. Oh, dear, Peter. I mean, what can you say, really?
This is the first poor patch of play that I think we've seen from Leverkusen because they're out of legs, they're out of ideas. I say this as, here comes Tapsoba forward. He's got advantage. Now's the time to cut back. That time a freaking cutback would have been useful. Or no, that was Frimpong. Pardon me. God, he had numbers there. What the hell was he trying to do it all on his own? As we see, was that Braun who gets booked for the foul?
No, I think it was Palacios. Ironically, I think he's got booked on Papadopoulos. Yeah, it's not an easy name to say that, but this is getting so frustrating from Leverkusen now. Really, it's just you're getting to the point where you're just like, oh, really? Like,
I know.
I mean, even if they can get a point from the game, it's something they stay unbeaten. You know what I mean? But I mean, if they lose this game, I think it'll be a huge blow to the confidence of the team. That's my honest opinion, because they'll just think, how did we lose that game? And we do. If they actually go to Stuttgart next week as well, I think they've got a relatively straightforward draw in the cup. I think they plays at Paderborn in the cup, and then I think they go away to Stuttgart next week. Although they come again here.
We're not saying. Oh, there's a nice win back by Frimpong.
Great play.
And no, it goes. And then he
clever play there. Was it Rierson again?
Yeah.
He's done a bit better. He's been given the run around, but at the end of the day, Frimpong hasn't been able to get that key. Although they're checking a handball. When he took it down there, was there a handball being checked?
Actually, I would say you could give that. Because he definitely extends his elbow. He makes his body bigger. Oh, they're not going to give it. Huh. Well, it ended up hitting shoulder blade, I think. So that's fair enough.
I think for Leverkusen, they just need to think we got to get a point and stay unbeaten here now. It's unlikely they'll win the game with only 15 minutes on the clock, but I mean, they've got to make sure they stay unbeaten, because a draw is still a decent point. It's always a decent point against Dortmund. You know what I mean? They are one of the strongest teams in the league at the end of the day. And a lot's gone against them today too. You've got to remember that can happen in football. You've got a goal disallowed for a half a foot offside. You've had what looked like a penalty in truth. You've had missed so many chances, and sometimes it happens, but in these kind of games, you've got to make sure you take something, and a point would be okay for Leverkusen. You can't win every game at the end of the day, but they've got to make sure they don't lose this one for me, because these are the ones that hurt more than anything, really, because you played well, you've been the better team.
Across. Let's see what he can make of it. Probably not much if you're going to decide to go one-on-one against Ta there. Okay, now we need a counter off of this. Come on, quickly, lads, quickly. No. Okay, we get another stoppage in play. Hummels gets booked for what was. That seems a mite harsh.
Again on Palacios, was it there? No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He's had such a good game, but yeah, he does go to ground easily. But as I
this.
say, Leverkusen, they've got to make sure they stay unbeaten here. I think this is so important for their season because I always think that it's a bad tackle. Actually, it is a bad challenge. Actually,
He followed through Stud's open sole right on his right on the top of his foot there.
The ref's been very lenient, actually, at times. I think there could have been a couple of penalties in the game, and there could have been.
I think they were both non-penalties. That was good call. That was fair play there. But let's see. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna be mighty disappointed if this game ends 0-1 here. I mean, this is really as hard as they've worked, and they've definitely worked their socks off here, and we're still not seeing any sort of discernible tactical change from Xabi. He's been quiet on the sidelines. This is still a 3-4-3. Palacios and Xhaka haven't flipped slants or anything. So, I mean, I guess he's just relying on the improvisation of the players at this point. This is a huge match. It's not a terrible idea to try something here. What can Frimpong make of this? Square rebound is... don't tell me it's another freaking corner. No, that was just a poor finish.
So some of the shooting from the range has not been very good today, which is surprising because Leverkusen get a lot of goals from outside of the area.
Here he comes. Here's Schick.
I'm surprised he's only going to get probably 15 minutes plus injury time. Well, 12 minutes plus injury time. It's Palacios who's going off, I guess, because he's probably getting close to a red card after annoying the referee as well. That's the problem. A player like him, they can pick up red cards because, they talk the way into the book and things like that. Yeah, I'm quite excited now for this. I think Schick is going to be huge in this game. For me, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to say he's going to get an equalizer here.
Let's see how because Boniface is still on the pitch. So we're looking at it. Okay, nice run here by Kosanu. He's got Frimpong on the overlap. Oh, he unleashes Schick. He's got Boniface.
Oh! Schick with the unbelievable. Please tell me he was onside. Please tell me he was onside. The big man has just played an unbelievable ball into the big Nigerian Boniface, and it's 1-0. But was he onside though, Boniface? That's my only worry. Was he onside? Because he looked worryingly close to the goal line when he put that in.
All right, let's see. All right, we've got Kobel out there. First of all, it was a very nice pickup from Kosanu. Oh, excellent header and run from him.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm having a look here in the replay. He is definitely on.
He's on. It's 1-1. It's a great, and it's Paddy Schick with the assist. Fantastic ball. I'm surprised he didn't shoot, but I mean, Kosanu has got to get the most credit for the goal, but Paddy Schick was great. And finally, Boniface in a good position. It is 1-1, guys. So yeah, although Dortmund break already here. Jeez,
for the cross. Okay. Very good. Very good settle down from Wirtz there. Come on, let's do a breakaway now. Oddly, long run there. He's got Boniface. Hopefully he was onside there. Boniface left.
I run straight into Papadopoulos.
It was.
But yeah, we've got the equalizer, and it is Paddy Schick who has a big say in it. Yeah, I mean,
I'm trying to figure out what the system is here because it's not a 4-4-2, or maybe it is. You can't really tell when they're nibbling around the box like this, but. Let me see here. Yeah, it looks like, okay, one of them's, there's a cross in. Poor cross. Nowhere near Schick there, but that's okay. That's going to take time. Okay, Kosanu again. Here we go. Nice pickup. Wirtz sitting on the ball a little bit there. Not bad. We'll switch out for Tapsoba. That wasn't Wirtz, excuse me. Oh, now this is Wirtz. Into the box. Wirtz. Ooh. Cook. Come on. Cook it off. Cook it off, kid.
Is that a corner?
I think
he's giving it. Is it out? No. Or he's giving it out of play. I think it did look out of play, but this is looking very promising at the moment. I mean, they got the goal straight away. Is a winner possible now from either side? I mean, Dortmund will still feel as though they can attack on the break as well, but Leverkusen are just dominating possession, and they're really starting to put them under pressure. They've got obviously Schick, who's a very capable striker to defend as well now, and he created the room, didn't he? It was his good run, which is what Boniface should have been doing for most of the game, to be honest, running off and finding space. And it was an easy goal in the end. But obviously it is the big man who gets the goal in the end, ironically. But yeah, fantastic stuff. I'm so glad they at least scored in the game, because if it had been kept goalless, that would have been...
Okay. I like what we're. Let's see if we. I think that I agree with Rory, who just checked in to say that there's a winner in this. I think that he's absolutely correct. Ooh, nice little back heel from Brandt, and that is that's not. Or that's Sabitzer up wide. Okay. Adeyemi collects. Do we have anybody down? I think everybody's up. Brandt on a deep drop, playing it conservatively back to Papadopoulos. Khan also playing deep, probably playing in the back four at this point. There's Hummels with a chip to absolutely no one. Okay, maybe just trying to. Okay, we got to see. There's a replay that they're showing of a goal again. Just absolutely wonderful headed win from Cosimo. Yeah. Wonderful sprint, and then just a perfect setup from Schick. Great awareness.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we got Wirtz all over the place here. That is good. All right. There was a nice little bit of footwork from him in the box until he ran it out a moment ago. I mean, he can be so silky smooth on the ball. It's amazing. Okay, Wirtz, Boniface, Adli, little triangle outside the box, not going anywhere. Back to Tapsoba. Wirtz is going to do some more unlocking, maybe. Adli earns a throw.
Not a corner this time, though.
Thank goodness. Oh, why are we bringing Thomas Meunier on at this point? Do we want to lose?
Royce as well. That's a big risk there, I think.
Well, it's obviously a defensive substitution, but Thomas Meunier. Well, I guess they don't have anybody else with Sule and Benzabaini out sick. Yeah, all they have is it's either him or Mathieu Moret on the bench, whom I honestly didn't know he was fit. I thought he had. Speaking of guys that have spent 2 years injured.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even know he was still playing football, to be honest. It's been that long since we saw him. But yeah. But yeah, I mean, for Leverkusen now, you could say the game's there for the taking, but will they be happy with a point? Probably not now. I think they'll want to win it. They've got enough time, but they will be wary about Dortmund's threat on the break as well.
If they beat on Meunier's side, which they're threatening to do, what is it? God, Meunier his salary is ridiculous. I mean, he's making $7 million a year or something like this annual to warm that bench. If they beat Meunier on his side, I mean, he's gonna be he's getting his tire slashed by the Dortmund supporters at some point.
I think Edin Terzic just purposely put him on the pitch just so to set him up for criticism, to be honest. I think they wanted to offload him for about the last 2 years, but he's clearly happy to take that salary, I think.
Well,
he knows he's not going to get the same pay if he goes to like a lesser club. So.
Well, eventually what they did was Scholz is still that was Hummels with a nice
good clearance again there from Hummels, who's had a great game. Jesus, another corner though. Rierson completely loses control of the ball. That was quite a poor corner to give away in some ways, but it's going to be number, I think, 14 or 15, but it's a lot. Let's say that much. And it's about time one of these, is put on the money, really, in truth.
There's nothing they can do. They just don't have anything left in the playbook. I mean, that's easily cleared away by, was it Füllkrug? I think. Okay, let's see what we can do. Grimaldo, no. It was a decent idea, but Sabitzer got in the way. Kosunu fighting hard, win that ball in the air, but Füllkrug picks up. Let's see what we got going.
Yeah, it's just wave after wave of attack, isn't it? It's
They've got to come on. They've got to give us a winner here. They absolutely deserve it.
They dominated the game. I mean, It's been an amazing. I didn't expect them to play this well. I really didn't. I thought they might have choked in the game, and early on it looked like that was going to happen, to be honest. But since the 4th minute, they've just been magnificent, I think. And as you say, they deserve the win. They really do. But for a bit of bad luck and a bit of very good organisation from Dortmund, they would have won this probably quite comfortably.
Yeah. Oh, nice little curl. Oddly across. Boniface, can he finish? Oh. I mean, it was. Oof.
Yeah.
Big
chance, really. Yeah, not a sitter, but it was a chance.
Yeah, he did well to tricycle that sucker out that sucker in on net off the volley. It just didn't fall for him. Oh, that was a beautiful play from Wirtz there. Also a nice win from Sabitzer and a good ball hold up from Schick, or not Sabitzer, Kosunu, and a good hold up from Schick there just outside the box. Well,
23 shots against 5, incredible, and that doesn't include the disallowed goal as well. So, yeah. Papadopoulos is such a kind of aggressive character, and he's got that Greek fighting spirit in him, hasn't he? But he's given away a pretty clumsy free kick here, which is probably going to get whipped in by Grimaldo, I would imagine, Peter.
He's probably out of range for a shot on target, but well, let's see how many we got breaking.
Maybe go for the shot cross, try and put it. No, I think it's a bit too far out. He's gone short.
He's gone short, and he's earned it. He's dug out another corner. But I mean, they just they don't have anything. Okay, they're probably going to play this one short too. Yeah, might as well. I mean, it's nothing else is working. Wirtz, ooh. Now, in that case, Schick, was he trying to head across the face of goal, or was he actually trying to have an effort on? I think
it was just a bit high for him. I think he was like straining his neck for it a little bit, wasn't he? It was probably a little bit too high for him. But
he wanted to head that across to Boniface. He just couldn't. He just couldn't get the angle on it. Boy, that would have been awesome if Schick had if Boniface had done a double and Schick the brace of assists. That would have been really fitting for this game. It absolutely would.
I mean, Schick has definitely had an impact. Nobody can deny that, And in some ways, it's actually looking like the right timing that he brought him on, because that sub has basically just completely killed Dortmund's threat completely. Like, they've got the equalizer, obviously, and they've had this complete dominance since the equalizer as well. That's probably going to mean Dortmund are going to score in a minute, don't they? They definitely don't look like doing it at the minute. They just can't get the ball, and
there's always a chance on the counter, because Leverkusen are going to push for the winner here. They'll even send Hadrecki up if they get if they get another corner. I mean, why not? I mean, that's nothing else is.
Alonso's an ambitious manager. He's not going to settle for a draw in any game, I don't think.
You don't want it. You can't settle for a draw. I mean, if you lose, then Bayern can catch up, and they have a game at hand. So. Is it a game at hand, a game in hand? I always forget that.
Well, they'd be level on points. Like, I think if
Bayern.
Basically, Bayern won their game in hand, and this finishes a draw, they'd be level on points. So that'd be crazy close. But yeah, I agree that a team, if you want to win the league, you got to show the ambition to win the league, and that's what Xabi Alonso does. He doesn't settle for points. It doesn't matter if you're away at Bayern or at home against Darmstadt. Like, he's going to go for the win, basically. It's as simple as that. And we've seen that today, just as, again, Frimpong with a poor pass, but it's a throw deep into the Dortmund half. They're doing everything they can to get this winner. What a last 15 minutes it's been, though, from Leverkusen, Peter. I mean, they've been brilliant, really, haven't they?
We're not going to get a lot of injury time here, I don't think. And Terzic is going to kill some time with another sub. He has subs to burn. Oh, there's Schick against 2. We've got another corner. All right.
I think it could be 16, incredibly. I'm not sure I've ever seen a football match with more.
All right, come on. Bring Hadrecki up. Bring the keeper up now, shall we? We got 4 minutes of injury time.
Go on, big Paddy Schick header here now. For 4 minutes, yeah. So for nowadays, that's not a lot, really. Nowadays, we usually see 7 or 8 minutes.
Supposed to do up high to retrieve it, but it's an offensive foul anyway. Oh, now we got some Wolf and Kosunu are arguing about who has the better man bun.
Is there a booking coming out here? The referee's going for his pocket. Jeez, this is not necessary, really.
Yeah, well, this is one of those scraps where I don't think either player was really particularly interested. Yeah, Wolf is going to get a booking for unsportsmanlike behavior. Probably Kosunu as well, because he's still got the card out, and he's pointing. So they both get a booking for unsportsmanlike conduct. Just a little bit of shoving in there after Kosunu went up there to win the aerial challenge. Probably he felt like, he did. It was an offensive foul. He pulled Wolf down.
Yeah,
and then Wolf. Okay, yeah, that was one of those scraps where they. Well, it reminds you of that. What was that Lionel Messi one in the Copa America back in 2019? Where it's like What are you going to do about it? Well, what are you going to do about it? What are you guys?
You don't see that many of them these days, do you? I think in the past, at least in the Premier League, it used to be like every game, basically, you'd have this kind of. I remember one time, I think it was Lee Bowyer and Kieran Dyer fought with each other and both got red cards. Did you ever see that? You've got to check that one out on YouTube, guys. It was Newcastle, and they had basically a fist fight with each other on the same team, and they both got red cards. And I think they ended up losing the game like 4-0 or something. Yeah, really, that was one of the craziest moments I ever saw in a football match.
I remember that. Yeah, that was the year or a couple of years before Newcastle got relegated.
Yeah, it was a bad time for Newcastle. Yeah, and there was a bad atmosphere around the club, and basically they just started punching each other on the pitch, and the referee had to send them both off for friendly fire, effectively, which was just a crazy moment. I don't think I've ever seen that in football before or since, but I'll never forget that one.
That's a great
and I think the game was 0-0, I think, after about 60 minutes, and they ended up losing like 3 or 4-0 in the end, I think, which is kind of sucked for them anyway. But yeah, Leverkusen again attacking. Papadopoulos with a good challenge there on the brim. It's going to be a throw in deep into the half there. Go on, Peter, you can take us through because I think you're a little ahead there.
It's cleared by Dortmund. Nice little ice hockey icing clearance there. We're at 90+3 at the moment. We were told we were only given 4. That scuffle might give us another 30 seconds, depending on the mood of the ref. Let's see. We got Frimpong. He was straight out of bounds. He just didn't even have the space for the cutback this time. It's a nice little piece of defending from Papadopoulos there. Probably could have done without him, leaping up and pretending like he just won the cup. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I would say on that last corner they should have sent Hedrecki up there. I mean, that's you want to go for the win here. You absolutely want to go all.
You would really have sent Hedrecki up. Wow, that is controversial. Yeah, but it's incredible how many men they've literally got. No men back at Leverkusen. Every single player on that final play there was in the Dortmund half, which is just incredible. Really, this
might do it. Dortmund have been awarded a free kick. We're at 90+4, 20 seconds. They can easily probably run this off. To his credit, Hummels takes it quickly. Adeyemi back to Hummels. We're going to milk some more time here. Hummels a diagonal. No, nice switch there down to Meunier, who I never thought I'd touch the ball again in the Bundesliga, but that's what happens. Oh, Meunier!
Oh, geez, he's away. He's away, Meunier.
Oh,
jeez! What a chance! What a chance! It was almost Dortmund scored with the first and the last kick of the game, basically. Then it was Meunier. What a ball that was! Wow, that was a beautiful ball. Fulkrug gets his head clearly on it, but it's gone over the bar. That's probably their best chance since the 4th minute, literally. And that was Meunier. Why didn't they bring him on earlier? Where's he been? Yeah, but I think this is going to be the last move of the match now. That Leverkusen have the ball with Klossen, who is in the Tapsoba. It is deep into the half. We're on about 90+5. A bit of a strange ball back there, and that has led to the final whistle. We have seen a 1-1 draw here. Don't know what he was doing with that last ball. I think if it had tried to go for the attacking, in the end, Leverkusen ended up in 2.33 XG, so they put on pretty much 2 full goals in that second half. Borussia Dortmund put on about 0.2, and I would imagine most of that came from that chance in the last minute, to be honest. But yeah, it finishes a 1-1 draw, Peter. I mean, not sure either side will be that happy because obviously these two teams need wins, don't they? Also, Dortmund will be the happier, I would say, even though they led for long periods of the match and ended up drawing. But Peter, what are your final assessments of the game there then?
Well, Leverkusen have dropped points, and Bayern can easily play catch up in the final 3 rounds. So it might be the case that actually they won't be the official. We won't be doing a Hinrunde Meister this year because the Hinrunde doesn't conclude until the 17th match day, shortly after the New Year. So we'll have a Weihnachtsmeister this year, a Christmas champion. And let's, as a matter of fact, probably a good idea to take a look at the fixtures. Bayern have in the league, what is it? Eintracht, Stuttgart, and Wolfsburg, actually.
Hard game.
Yeah, hard games. Leverkusen have, I imagine that they would have an easier schedule because they had a rather tough schedule at the beginning of the year. It is Stuttgart, Eintracht, Bochum. Okay.
Also hard. Well, at least the first two are hard. Yeah.
I don't know. I liked what I saw from Bochum yesterday. Of course, they were playing Wolfsburg,
Yeah.
so that's something different. But,
That's true. Yeah.
I mean,
But yeah, what great game! Really, probably deserved. We would have liked more than 2 goals, but the game didn't disappoint from a technical perspective. I thought it was a great game, especially, but from both teams, really. I mean, Dortmund also deserve credit. It's not easy to keep that Leverkusen team to just 1 goal in 90 minutes, but I think I'm just happy that they got the equalizer for me. Really, I think if Dortmund had gone away with a 1-0, I would have been feeling a little bit empty inside, to be honest. But I think I could take the draw. Leverkusen is still unbeaten through 14 games this season, and actually through 20 games in all competitions. Obviously they go away to Stuttgart next, which is going to be another great game. By the way, you'll have to check that one out, guys. And that is pretty much everything from us. Leverkusen 1, Dortmund 1, and we'll see you again. I think me and Peter are probably going to do another watch along before too long as well, so we'll keep you updated with that one. But our next show will be tomorrow evening with the review show. So thank you very much for joining us, guys, and we'll see you there. Bye-bye.